What is going on, guys? This is Michael Williams from Cartoon Universe, and I want to talk about that insane, mind-blowing, trippy episode, Meteora's Lesson. So in it, we learn that Glossaryck has actually been teaching Meteora how to dip down this whole time, which I guess he can communicate to babies, which probably means he can communicate to pretty much anything. There's a lot we don't know about Glossaryck. He's basically OP. But we got a lot of really interesting, cool lore sprinkles going around. If you read the Book of Spells before the season came out, there's actually a lot of little nods to that, like Ronaldo. We finally got to see him in person in the show. But we also learned that the actual wand is created from Meteor's rattle, like pardon me. But besides that, it's very interesting that Meteora is still playing this specific significant role. And Glossaryck said something very interesting at the end of the episode. He says that he thinks magic is in good hands. But what does this mean exactly? Well, it can mean a few things. Obviously, Meteora is the daughter of Eclipsa, who's the queen, so that means she'll be the queen later on. But I don't know if this is standard practice for him to actually teach a baby how to use magic and whatnot before they even get the book in the first place. So that's kind of interesting. I don't think that's something he's necessarily done. Granted, there is no book anymore, so he's not really bound by those rules, so he can just kind of do what he wants and what he thinks is right. But while there's a lot of different ways this statement could be interpreted and ways this could go with Meteora's plotline, I have one theory in particular that sounds a little crackpot, but once you get into it, I think it's possible. I think Meteora ends up turning into a character we haven't seen in quite a long time, Baby. Now, I know that doesn't seem to make any sense at first glance, because obviously Baby, we've already seen Baby, and Meteora at that time was still Miss Heinous. But I think there's a lot of different connections. For starters, Meteora was, once Miss Heinous. She was a grown woman, a pretty old woman, actually. And then she got reverted into a literal baby. So that's one parallel right there. And as we see, Star kind of likes to play on words, because we recently also learned that Mina Loveberry was actually the person that tried to yada yada Eclipsa in the first place, which I actually theorized was a possibility in that video. Little hashtag humble brag. But I think the hint was there all along, because her last name is literally Loveberry. So that was kind of the little nudge to the audience. At least that's what I think. I guess it could be a coincidence, but I highly doubt it. So Baby's name could be a nudge to the audience that Meteora, having turned into a baby, will become Baby. But that's not the only significant connection to Baby. There's also the very interesting fact that if you go back and watch the Baby episode, she's very cold to Marco in particular. I mean, she's a little cold in general, but even when she was kind of being harsh to Star, she was more upfront about it. She was just kind of laying down the law. But with Marco, she was just straight up just ate the food he made and then ignored him, like literally turned her back to him. And then he tried to come in later, and she absolutely flipped on a dime, like completely freaked out, super scary, just monster stuff. And that's something Meteora has been seen to do quite a bit. She'll act all sweet and nice and kind of just like a normal baby, and then the moment Marco is even mentioned, she absolutely freaks out. So very weird, similar parallel. Again, it could be a coincidence, but that's a pretty big one. But the main thing kind of lies in Glossaryck. He says that he thinks magic is in good hands. Again, this could be interpreted as she's going to become the new Queen of Muni one day, but from a writing standpoint, I don't know why that's something we would really need to learn about. Obviously, it's possible that Meteora is just going to play some role in this season using magic that's going to like save the day or something like that, but I think it's a little more significant than that. Sounds like he thinks that Meteora is going to be somehow involved or in charge of magic, but to our knowledge, there's no character that's really like that. I mean, Glossaryck's kind of close, but he's not in charge of it. It just kind of comes from the realm of magic itself. But Baby, while not in charge of magic, evaluates the merits of different upcoming princesses and queens of Muni and their ability to use magic. So what if by magic is in good hands, he meant that it's in good hands as far as who's going to be evaluating who's able to actually use it in the first place. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, Baby was already existing when Miss Heinous was an adult, like I said before. But as we saw in this episode, Glossaryck has been doing a lot of time shenanigans, lots of time travel. We've even seen him 2 places at once in this season, which was a completely new thing. But given that there was a lot of time travel with Meteora specifically in this episode, we even see that he's the one that basically made Muni happen in the first place. So it seems like Glossaryck kind of knows how everything is supposed to turn out. There's a lot of different time loops and almost paradoxes going on here. So I would not be surprised if somehow Meteora turned into Baby instead of this gross monster thing that she originally turned into because of, I don't know, the power of love and friendship and actually decent parenting for once. Turned into that, ended up doing something very significant in the conflict to some degree, using her super powerful magic, and then got locked away in the bottle to help the past Queens of Muni / future Queens of Muni. Like Glossaryck just takes her to the past to guide the other Mumin queens and princesses, because we don't really know where she came from. We have absolutely no idea. She just kind of was in the bottle that Moon had, and we don't even know where that bottle went. So it's possible there's the past Baby, and then there's the future Baby that's in the bottle now. So TLDR, Glossaryck said that magic's in good hands. I think that means that Meteor is going to turn into Baby, go to the past, and end up becoming a time loop that Glossaryck seems to be very familiar with and seems to be baiting all these other characters into making sure the timeline stays intact and goes the way everything is supposed to be going in the first place. What do you guys think about this theory? Do you think it's possible that Meteora could actually be Baby? And if not, do you think there's some other explanation? Again, there are definitely other possibilities, but I would find it weird that Meteora is the chosen one of magic or whatever, when this is Star's story first and foremost. So I feel like Star is gonna play a more significant role. But again, Meteora is half Mumin, half monster, so that kind of ties into the theme of the show, trying to get those two factions of beings to live civilly, so that could be part of that process. But it's clear Meteora is going to be more than just the successor to Eclipsa. Obviously, in this season, she's going to be playing a major role, which I think we pretty much all assumed. And also, Gone Baby Gone is coming up, so that might be a thing. But it's very interesting to see that finally take shape and form. I cannot wait to see what Darren FC and the team have come up with for this character, and I love all the moving parts that are happening right now with all the different plot lines. It's gonna be hype. It's gonna be hype. But let us know what you think in the comments down below. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more Star vs. Force of Evil theories, discussions, and cartoon shenanigans. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I've been Michael Williams. You've been watching Cartoon Universe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.